early literacy education is so important for children, but in the right and the structured manner. So there I started my storytelling program along with the phonics program.
As you told me that you have trained a lot of educators as well and you have worked with children very closely. So I wanted you to reflect onto perhaps like a breakthrough or almost like a memory of being with children that's just, it's still with you because it was a remarkable point in your journey.
Method is a multi-sensory method where we have songs, where we have actions, where we have stories, and then through all of this that children have just started reading, right? So there was no rote learning there.
Well, I welcome you dearly, Ms. Komal, to our campus. We just had a lecture with you. It was really nice. It was really fun. So let's set the base. I would like you to elaborate on how you've come about this journey. I mean, I would love to talk about the things that you do, but I would like to give you this chance to just talk about all the things that you do and what it is like to hold this coaching center. How did you come about it, and what all does this mean to you?
Thank you so much, first of all, and I'm liking this, loving this campus so much. So to speak about my journey, you know what, I started my career as a product research, into a product research, and I worked in the corporate for 9 years. I live in Mumbai, and Mumbai, of course, as I'm sure the Bangalore people would also relate to it, traveling is a pain there. When I delivered my baby and he was barely 2.5-year-old, and I was struggling with my work, travel, back at home, and my work-life balance was not really great. Then I realized one day when I was telling a bedtime story to my son, I realized I'm such a great storyteller. And because my son was taking interest in listening to the story, I realized, if my son is enjoying so much, I'm sure this is a subject, or probably it is not really simple to tell stories to children to gain their attention. Why not take it as a career and educate people how to tell stories? Way back in 2014, I took a decision, okay, no more corporate job, let me start my own company. I had no clue after taking an MBA, after doing an MBA, getting into a corporate and then starting your own company where now you want to be a storyteller and educationist to start your own program for children. It was a breakthrough for me. But gradually from 2014, I started my company, which was Phonic World, where I realized that early literacy education is so important for children, but in the right and the structured manner. So there I started my storytelling program along with the phonics program. And from there I began my journey from 2014, and now here we are in 2025, never looked back. There were a lot of ups and downs in the career, but I am at such a happy space because I'm transforming the lives of children and also innovated a new method of teaching in different schools, in colleges, and also working with corporates. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is very inspiring actually. In fact, when I was looking up, when I was researching about you, I read that your degree is called Jolly Phonics, yes, which was really interesting to me because a degree that can sound so fun and already is so interesting. Yeah. So because you made us do so many activities, I have one for you as well. So if you had to briefly tell us who Jolly Phonics is as a person, how do they look like? If you had to give them a personality, so what would you do with this?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you that, jolly, when we say Jolly Phonics, jolly is an adjective where, it says, oh, it's a fun program. Of course, it's a fun program, but the history says that Mr. Chris Jolly, who is the managing director of the company called Jolly Learning Limited, they founded a program which is called Jolly Phonics, which was specifically designed for the dyslexic children, way back in 1992, when they realized that dyslexic and ADHD and LD children were facing difficulty in learning reading and writing. There they started Jolly Phonics program. And I got associated with Jolly Learning Limited, who are the publishers based in UK. In 2016, I got associated, I got my accreditation, and I became the accredited trainer for them. So since then I'm started teaching Jolly Phonics and training to the teachers and to children, and empowered them, because it's a multi-sensory program through which we are basically teaching to all the children with different learning styles. Yeah. So this is a magical program. Of course, the name itself says it's jolly. Yeah. So that's how. Now, if you ask me, the character that I give it to to a Jolly Phonics, it's a very fun and a very jovial character, which is telling you that the education is not restricted to only rote learning. There are different ways of understanding and learning a content. So basically
as you told me that you have trained a lot of educators as well, and you have worked with children very closely. So I wanted you to reflect onto perhaps like a breakthrough, or almost like a memory of being with children that's just, it's still with you, because it was a remarkable point in your journey where you were like, okay, I know there is meaning to what I'm doing, but this moment has just gave me more reasons to add meaning to it. So if you have any, we can like have a little glimpse into your like memory lane, how this worked out for you.
Okay. So I remember in 2014 when I started teaching children through this method. And when I said that this method is a multi-sensory method where we have songs, where we have actions, where we have stories, and then through all of this that children have just started reading, right? So there was no rote learning there. So and I also started training them for how to create their own visuals and tell the stories around it. Now I'll give you one simple example. Like when you write a letter S, you say letter S, right? Yeah. But we say the sound is S. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So now when I am telling them the story, these children are visualizing the character, the setting of the story, and picking up all the words that begin with letter S, which makes a sound S, right? So if it's sun or a snail or a snake or a spotty snake in the garden sniffing and slithering around, and then it was so magical to see that these children are creating their own stories and retelling me the stories with a new vocabulary, which instantly that they learn out of the visuals that they created. So it was, I realized that children are way more creative than adults first, because when I'm training educators and I'm taking up the same activity with them, I've seen that some challenges that the educators face, because of course there's, they're not as creative as children, and the power of visualization is not as great as children have. So that was a breakthrough where I've realized that storytelling is such a powerful way of communicating to your audience, where children are the audience. And if you add visual to it, their understanding becomes so clear, so better, that now they do not have to read it to tell you the story, they're going to tell you the story through their own visualization. Yeah. So I really patted on my back and said, wow, this is something that I innovated and I tried with children, and that's the result that we get.
That's actually really heartwarming. That's very wholesome. But yeah, so I would like to wrap it up by asking you that, well, I already know about this, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do not. You've worked very closely with the Assamese government. You have helped a lot in educating a lot of students, you're training a lot of tutors, and I know a lot of changes have been brought up because of that, and I'll leave it to you to tell about that. So I just want you to tell me, when you entered that room, how it would look like, and when you left it, how did you leave it? How did you leave it all behind?
Wow, thank you for asking me this, because in 2022, this was a vision in my mind, that I want to bring in the change in education, and not only at the level of private schools, because private schools, of course, the teachers are empowered, they're trained, but in the government schools barely they get such kind of trainings. So I wanted to implement my program in all the grades in all the schools in Assam. When I got to know that there are 38 districts, active 35 districts, across there are 40,000 schools where I can actually implement my program and bring a change there. English was a subject till now, till the time we implemented a program. Teachers were not really trained how to teach, and they were using the conventional and the traditional method of introducing the letter names, A, B, C, D. When I got to know from teachers, barely children were coming, to attend the classes, because they come only for the midday meals. That's the only motivation that they have. When we introduced this method, when I trained the teachers over there, 1900 teachers, there, when we received the feedback from them, they said that, ma'am, now they're not just coming for the midday meals, they're actually coming to learn through this multisensory methods. They're singing, they have downloaded the apps on the smartphones, and they are making the actions. They, in just 2-3 months, they started reading the words. Grade 5 children, they were coming to the classes, they were looking upon them, and they were saying, why aren't we, why are we deprived of these methods? So our juniors are reading and we are not able to read it. So this is a change when I saw, when I went and monitored these children. They were so happy. They came and they cried. They said, ma'am, please don't leave, and please come and teach us, because we want to learn more and more and more. And when I doodled in the class and tried explaining them some tricky words in English, they were so good with their art that they created the stories and coming to me and reading those words and telling me all those sentences. That is the time I realized that why do we say that the literacy skills are not really good in our country? The only thing that we are not doing is that imparting the right training to the teachers in these government schools. And I'm really thankful to the Assam government that they approved this project, and that they're really helping and supporting me to implement this program. So far we have implemented in 1900 schools, and we're foreseeing that we would bring a change in 38,000 schools.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is actually really nice. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, we'll all cross our fingers for you. I mean, this is a great initiative, but I'm very glad that you could just give us the time of the day today. And essentially, to end it all, I want you to perhaps give a line or two of advice that parents out there who may be watching this or are trying to seek new methods of teaching their kids, because we all know education doesn't stop at school, it's carried to your home. So what's your advice to those parents who are really trying to make a healthy atmosphere at home, but they're somewhat struggling with it, and how can they implement these techniques at home as well?
Absolutely. So again, this is an advice to the young parents, because see, the literacy, numeracy, whatever that you say, it has to be fun first of all. As parents, we want our children to learn everything, sending them for multiple classes, and we want our children to be scholars. It's very important to spend some quality time with your children first, whatever that you do it. See, I'm not discouraging that, I myself running a coaching center for children and for the Teachers Training Institute. But I'm saying that, send them for the classes, but at the same time, just be with them and try to do different activities also with them, especially the activities which are fun. And I would stress a lot on storytelling. Please tell stories to them. Try to create new stories and share your personal experiences with them. Also, do not force them to read if they are unable to do it. Follow the very structured methods. Take help. Do not take the entire onus on you that I want to teach my child. If you are unable to do it, take some professional help, learn and then teach it at home. Also, one very important advice to all my parents, speak your language, which is a regional language at home, also speak English at the same time. Do not think that we are pressurizing our children. It is not a pressure, because if you see cognitively your child is learning multiple languages till the time the child turns 6 or 7. They have a visual memory, which is a very strong visual memory, their verbal memory, they have a photographic memory. So whatever that you're introducing at a very early age, it remains there in the mind for a very long time. So speak to them in multiple languages. It's not only your regional language, English at the same time, introduce new words, vocabulary, draw with them, color with them, and just have fun with them. Learning should always be fun. That's it. I mean, it should not be very stressful if your child is unable to read a 2-letter word, 3-letter word, and the other children are learning 4-letter word, and then you're completely depressed that your child has not covered a milestone. Every child learn at his or her own pace. So just be patient, be with them, appreciate and make it fun.
I mean, thank you for making this conversation fun, and thank you for being here. We're very excited for the workshops you're going to be making come true forward as well. So thank you again truly for this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.